Good morning, YouTube. How y'all doing? Man, so I actually had to do this video over. This is the second time I'm doing it. I tried to do it without notes. It sucks. My videos are so much better with notes. So in the last video, I talked about the importance of troops and how to maximize your troops. So when you do ultimately get the T5, right? Whatever point that is, right? You will be in a good place to start upgrading your T4 to T5 and strategically doing it during MGE or some other event that rewards you for doing so, because it's actually very low speed ups relative to how long it takes for how much power you're getting for T5, but it just takes a whole lot more resources, but not as much time. Most of the time has already been done getting to T4. But that probably should have been mentioned in the last video. Now we're going to talk about commanders. So my philosophy with the commanders is that you want to protect. The whole idea of having the best of the best commanders is more so to protect your troops. And so you end up having more positive trades and more a positive experience when on the battlefield. And instead of spending as many resources healing up troops, you can spend more resources training troops, doing research, upgrading your buildings. That's the whole point, I think, of having the creme de la creme of commanders. So my recommendations is you want to have them combat ready. And when I say combat ready, I mean you need to have the primary commander at level 60. So like 2 more levels here, right? Level 60. And what that does is give you max troop capacity. So if you have a City Hall 25 and a level 60 commander, you can have 200,000 troops. You want that. You want to be able to bring a full march of troops, because if somebody has, like say, even where I'm at, they have City Hall 24, 179 troops, right? The dude that I'm fighting has 21,000 more troops than me. I mean, compared to me, like right now, that's more than 10% more, a little bit more than 10% more troops. Like, I'm probably going to lose just by virtue of him having 10% more troops than me. Not necessarily, but if it's even in every other aspect, the troops is going to make the difference, right? By the same token, right, you don't need the secondary to be level 62. You need something like this. This is a pretty much a gold standard. Like, and they can honestly be level 30, right, if you wanted them to be. But this is a great secondary. It's exactly 4 stars. Everything's unlocked. And he's supposed to be, 30 out of 40, or, you get to 40 because you're using them or whatever. That's fine. Let me give you a better example. Like my South, like I barely got him above 30. Only when I do barbs, and he's my third barb guy, so I don't use him that often, right? He's going to stay at 30 because he's a secondary, right? He's secondary to my minor, who ultimately is going to become 60, right? So there you go. Now the last part is that you do want some gear in your commanders, and the gear is so specific, and I want people to do it right because it takes a lot of time to get the pieces. I want to point out what I think are the better pieces for the early game specifically, and then I'll talk about what do you want to work towards. So I'll do where do you start, right, on the gear video, and then where do you end at for most players, and that's going to be just trying to get special talent epics, because it would be too much to do legendary. Now, I recommend to speed up this process, because you see, I'm what, almost 60 days into this kingdom. I lost kind of 6 days on the migration to a different kingdom, but let's say 60-ish days, right? Maybe a little bit more at this point. I have no max level commanders, so they do in fact take an extremely long time to get to 60. So especially if it's a legendary. So what I would recommend is always, especially if you're a free to play, this is less of a problem if you're buying bundles and certain packs and stuff. It's less of an issue. But for a whale, but I recommend going with the epic primary commanders to start because they take significantly less XP to get to 60. So like this Mina is gonna take way more XP than my Sun Tzu will. Way more. Uh, like my Richard, right? When a lot of people want the Richard primary, and you're not wrong to think like that. He's a great primary commander in the early game, but like it's way more XP and stars for that matter. And the thing is, you have to have the stars to even get to 60, right? With the legendary, so it's a lot easier for free to play to just work with the epics. You're gonna get the purple stars, but it's those gold stars that's going bottleneck you. Okay, so because there's gonna be you can especially in an early game like KVK1. Ideally, you would rally with archers and cavalry, and then you would defend with infantry. I think that's the best strategy to have in KVK1. Kind of in KVK2 as well. To be honest, it's the same concept, right? Just slightly different commanders. You get access to a few more commanders. Now, with that being said, right, that would mean that if you want to reinforce or reinforce a rally or join a rally, defend the flag, reinforce the flag, whatever it is, and all of your troop types are going to be used. So if you're being really strategic, I would have one infantry focused commander. Sun Tzu is good for that. I would have one cavalry focused commander. Any of them are good for that. Belisarius, Pelagius, what's the other one? Bybars, it doesn't matter. Then one archer focus. Kusunoki, Herman, doesn't really even matter, right? Just somebody. And then that way, you can effectively fight with those units in the field if you have to. But the idea is that you're just trying to bring the max number of troops that the rally leader or flag captain is suggesting, right? So if it's a Charles Martel, Richard, will probably be Richard Martel. If there's a Richard Martel or a Martel Isong in the flag, right, you're probably going to bring all infantry. So you need, ideally, a commander that's level 60 and you just bring all infantry. But because there might be some fighting that may happen on your way there, it is important to have a level 60 commander, secondary that has all the skills unlocked, that's infantry focused, so you can actually get to the flag and not get blown the fuck up, right? That's kind of the idea. Bring the max number of troops and still be effective on your way there. That's why I like that strategy. And if you tackle the game like that, right? T5 are precious. You want to protect them, and that's the whole concept. If you're focused on protecting your troops, you think about your commanders as protecting your troops in the same way that when you're a garrison captain or rally leader, your goal is to protect your troops. So that means having the best of the best, right? And it starts off just by having the gear, having a level 60 primary commander, and having a secondary, right? And then obviously the talents matter, right? I'm not even going to go into the builds, but the talents matter as well, the build that you do. So what are some examples that you can do? You can do, for infantry, we can make it as simple as this. You can do Sun Tzu, Richard. Most people have that. Let's say you don't even have Richard. You could do Jorn. I would expertise him for sure. Jorn, Sun Tzu is good. Boom, there you go. Next one. You could do Herman, Kusunoki. It doesn't matter. And then you could do YSG as a secondary. And I'm going to say everybody should have this fucking character the moment he comes out. Everybody who can should be max spinning his wheel. Period. At least to 100. And I would make the argument 180 Doing the 180 ain't bad either. He's that important. You need to expertise him quickly. And then the next one would be like I said, any of the cav commanders. You could do, let's just say Pelagius Minor, right? That's good damage, good rage regen, debuffs enemies. Pelagius Minor, and then there you go. You're done. And it gotta be expertise. Shit, the 5/5 1/1 Minor expertise Pelagius. That's a good march. Or let's say you're not spending money like Pelagius South. It's fine. Even at the 5/1/1 with the South, it's Pelagius South. Easy, right? Easy money. And then you just can keep these guys at 4-star, right? Free to play aren't gonna have that many stars work on the legendaries, but you're gonna have the stars for the epics. Just work on the epics. So because you're gonna need a lot of XP, I highly recommend going to do Guardians. I actually, in fact, just got done doing Guardians right before this video. About to do a little bit of training here. Training speed. I'm gonna refresh this. All right. So do the Guardians as much as you can, right? As much as you can, because that's gonna save you a lot of XP. Now, when you're doing any of these activities that are going to be using your action points, make sure that you're using peacekeepers. You can see here the vast majority of the guys I got leveled up are my peacekeepers, right? So I've actually never put XP tomes into low hard past level 10. I got them to level 10, 3-star, and then all of this is straight Guardian XP or Barb XP. I never put an XP tome into them. Same thing with Boudica. I've never, period, put an XP tome into Boudica. Right? And you can see how far that you can get. 60 days. This is how far I got in about 60 days. I know I put some into Minor, but not very much. And I know I put some into FFLA, but not very much. Because these actually aren't my primary Bard people. I use them for fighting. As you can see by my builds, I use them for actual fighting. Okay, and then I would just put the XP tomes into like a guy like Sun Tzu. You can use them, barb with them if you want, but like you're not really gonna barb with them like that. You can, it's fine, but I tend to put, XP into the commanders where I know that I don't necessarily, I'm not exactly compelled to use them for barbs. So boom, right? Make sure that you're using primary peacekeepers, right? So like Lohar my guy. I don't use them for fort, so I don't need this. And the real key piece here is really the trophy hunter, the quick study, and the insight. You get those, you're good. And then the other stuff is just more damage and quality of life, really, right? The extra march speed helps you do it faster. You got more damage and healing, right? It just makes it more efficient. But the main thing here, and honestly, the trophy hunter is just a bonus too. It's the 15% XP and the 100% to reduce action point costs, right? And that's what you want. I don't even do anything without those. 100%. I always make sure I have that. All right, that kind of covers the commanders. And what this does is that now no matter what you want to focus on, right, you want to make sure that your troops are protected. So you're going to need all troop types. So this creates the foundation that you build your account on. Like just having a march of each troop type, while it might not even be the best thing, it's something. It ain't the best, but it surely is something. All right, see you in the next video. It's going to be about buildings, and then we'll go on to the research. And I think that's what most people probably want to hear is the research. You're a master governor. Get those commanders leveled up. See you in the next video.